because they don't expect you to throw that thigh backwards like that, so throw it. So just a couple of things that I was noticing when we do this. When we do our entry, part of this is we want their legs to stretch. We want it to be uncomfortable. So don't just like leave this here. If you feel like you need to post because you don't have balance, don't post on the mat, post on this leg. So post here, hold it down, other leg we're pinning. If we can stretch them, that's what we want to do. It's more uncomfortable. Put that strain in the groin. Okay, so when we do our back step when we fall, make sure we're not doing this. That we're not just sitting on the mat. We don't want that because Anthony can just get right back up. So all that work was for nothing. So when I fall, again I say this should make contact with this. Sorry, I'm just feeling up. But that's what we want. We want hit. So when I go into him and I want to, if my hip hits on him, if my butt's off, I don't care. So I can settle back down once I drop my arm. But for the main impact, be mean. Put your ass on him. Okay. So from here, one of the guys asked, what do you want to do from here? Of course we can just go back. Of course we can just sit here. We can go from out. Of course, like that's good. I kind of don't really like mount that much. I prefer work from the side of the calf. So what we want to do here, we're going to go into a choke. So, all right, I fell, I landed like this. First thing we're doing again is I'm establishing my side control. Both hands are here, right? This one's super, super simple. I'm going to keep my left elbow low. I'm just going to drag it, keep dragging it, take it over his head. So I'm going to grab even like his shoulder just to get a good grip. Now his shoulder is directly into his chin. Just going to grab my hand, Gable grip. What I want to do is really get pressure into this choke. You already look straight. A little bit. What I want to do is, you can drive with your hips this way, but I want to do is I want to fall into this hip and really push my chest down and into his neck. So I'm here, I'm going to switch, and I'm going to go. Okay. So I'm here, again I'm keeping my base, slide, keep your elbow low so as much as you can grab it, stick as far as you can. We're going to grab our hand, wind it down, pinch it. All this is very tight. I have long arms, so a lot of times I get too much space. So if you don't think just grabbing here, because sometimes it might be too close to you, just keep extending as far as possible. Gable grip, hold my arm. So that, turn this way, try to not do that right leg.
I love the sound effects.
Sound effects are mandatory for me.
Mandatory.
All right, so remember, when we're swishing over, we're grabbing, when we're doing this position, when we're moving our arm, it's not just we're trying to get our arm over here. We're trying to force this arm into his neck. So when we're doing that, we're still doing low pressure down. We're pushing it in the whole time. And for whatever reason, it's still not there. See where my chest is? I want to push down and over to ensure that arm stays in the neck. If not, the arm will stay up and you're just going to be squeezing. They're not going to do anything. So if you feel like it's not good, hold it tight. Push down, push our chest down. Just shift it. Now when we get here, don't just keep squeezing from this position, because unless you can do like basically a split from this area, you're not going to get low enough. Make sure that we are kicking this leg out and we're driving, we're sprawling out on that leg. We're really laying our hip down. That is what's giving that extra pressure. We're really cranking. Shoulder sizes, arm sizes, so it's going to be a little bit easier for you to slip in with different people. Remember, the most important thing is when we're holding any kind of choke, if you know it's solid, don't stop and readjust, just hold it. Hold it and keep that pressure, and eventually it will sink in. So constantly readjusting is constantly giving them a chance to breathe. So just settle into it. All right, so back here. Man, that was lazy, but ignore me. Boom, boom. Okay, so sometimes, for whatever reason, we feel like we execute this move absolutely perfectly, and our arms still don't end up where they're supposed to end up. So sometimes I'll end like this. Okay, so now we're just going to go to a different choke. So what's important, same thing, is whenever we're in side control, we're establishing a really good base. Again, I will say this all the time. Hip knee to hip, up to armpit. Stretch them out. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use this hand, left, and I'm going to reach under. The same thing, I'm going to dive deep as far as I can. Even like that, that's my thigh. I'm trying to grab all the way into my thigh. So just like a reverse pinball. So right now I think I'm in his armpit, thigh, whichever one. Bring my other arm, we're gonna isolate that hip, again, so he can't turn into. Same concept, we're going to shift our head, we're gonna go from here to the other side of his ribs. I'm gonna reach under, I'm gonna grab my hand, keeping this all tight. This arm should keep me thrown up into here. My hip is gonna throw into here again. I'm gonna go in, switch my hips, lean down and push in. And then settle.
Again, don't do this.
Yeah, so like I said, my big thing with doing any kind of, I am a positional submission person hands down. My competition team is rack up the point to piss people off. I don't care. So like when I get to a spot like this where I know that, okay, I've done everything I need, I'm ready to do, I get inside control a lot. It's very dominant, very safe position. I like these submissions that if I mess up, I can still go back to where I was. Being these headlocks are good, you still have good position from them. So once I get here, and even if you land here, you can still do the other choke, you can still get your arm in anyway. Oh, I'm going for a marathon. Oh, no, I'm not. Then we're back where we want to be. Here, I'm going to dig my hand under, shoot all the way through as far as I can. Someone's asking how far you should shoot through, as far as you can possible. We want to get them as close. We want his arm as close to my thigh. I want everything touching. So I'm reaching through, other hand, going to the hip, and I'm just going to kind of rotate. You see my hip is still driving into it. I'm clasping my hands, and I'm going to drive and squeeze it in. This way. Okay. Real quick, go other way. I can't do it on that side, AJ. Come on. All right, something that I was noticing. All right, so when I say we're grabbing our thigh, that's just a gauge of how far we want to reach. We're not staying holding that thigh. We're going back to our grip afterwards. So, now I'm just gonna pause my butt for a second. So I'm diving under to my thigh just so I know my shoulder is dropping appropriately low. I'm not just gonna stay like this and try to do the choke. I'm sure there's some freaks of nature in this room that can do stuff like that, but no. So we're gonna grab, and that's just so we can get our other hand. Other thing, we're not getting to the choke with our head on this side. We're posting on the hip and we're rotating our head to the other side. That makes it tighter. So between us reaching really far and doing that twist, this is a much tighter choke. Like I said, I like to drop to my hip because I have like massive thighs. Sometimes if you drop to that hip and they're still not doing it, start going north-south. Start rotating. Use your toes to start shifting yourself up. If you want to, you can push up. You can even TP up and really push that on there. Again, I cannot get my body weight up that quickly, so I go low and slow. But if you keep it here, you want to really like create a lot of force and TP up on them, you can do that too. Yeah, that was yeah. Right. So that's what we're trying to do. So arm over, reaching for the thigh just as a gauge. We're always going to grab our hands back, clench it, make it tight. Head switches over to this side, we're rotating down. That make sense? All right, let's try it again. 1, 2, 3.
We're going to do some half guard work today, right? We're going to start with off balancing, right? So just like in the wrestling, if there's any wrestlers in this room, we got to always kind of set up our attacks, right? We can't always just go right into an attack. Off balancing should always be the first thing you're doing, right? I always say if you can get the guy's hands on the floor, it means that they're not on you, and also kind of depending on the context, you know, his weight is now distributed differently, right? To help us attack. So I'm going to show a really, really basic one that I really like to use for my setups. So it's off balance and half guard. Right. So I'm in the half guard, and let's say I have, I start with, maybe I have a knee shield position here, right? I'm going to use this knee lever to start to off balance my opponent. You can use this for a sweep, but a lot of times it ends up just being a really great way to get their hand posted on the mat to give you the underhook, right? So if I'm in this position, you know, there's different ways for me to set up my underhook if the guy's pressuring in, right? I can keep my frames here, and I can start to do stuff where like I kick my leg up and I swim underneath here for underhook and start to come up to an elbow, right? But a lot of times, you know, the guy knows I want that, so if he's wise and you're going against a good opponent, it can be very difficult to get, right? Because it's obvious that I want it, it's good for me and bad for him. So one of the things that I'll do, right, in the knee shield position here, is I can, if I drop this down here, and I get my head inside, now I can do this with a grip or without a grip, right? I'm gonna show it with grabbing a grip today. So let's say I have the knee shield, I'm gonna just kind of grab a grip on this wrist right here, and then I can double this up, I can grab just the wrist, I can come and scoop inside, I can come and scoop the leg. There's a lot of different combinations, but the key is the legs. So I'm gonna start to, you'll notice if I just have no grip at all, right? It's just the concept of that my foot is on the outside of his. And if I bring my other leg in here and I just start to turn my hips, you see how Brian puts his hand on that right there like that? That's the motion, right? So obviously, if I can, in any way, right, I can control Brian's arm from posting, and I come inside here and I do this, he falls over, right? So that's what I'm going to show today, right? So we're going to start off where I have a knee shield. It could be high, it could be low, right? And I'm going to grab a grip here on the hand, right? And like I said, the other grip, I can do 2-on-1, right? Like this, I can grab elbow, right? I can kind of come and scoop inside, I can scoop the leg, right? So I'll leave it to you guys to kind of pick which one. They all kind of work, it's the same concept, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drop my knee shield like this here, okay? I am going to start to bring my head and I'm gonna lift my butt off the mat just a little bit, right? Just enough to turn my hips. So I'm gonna come here and I'm gonna lever them over like this, boom, right? And I can follow them up. So from the knee shield, right, just to make it a little more complex, right, what you can do, like different ways to off balance, right, I can use this foot to kick him this way, and again, to get his hand on the mat here, right. Now, I maybe come back the other direction fast, right. So, last time we're gonna go, so we're here, we have our knee shield, I have my foot outside his foot, okay? I'm gonna grab some kind of a grip to stop this post, right? So for now, I'm gonna grab a one-on-one grip here like this, and I'm gonna come in my other hand, I can come and scoop his leg, right? I'm gonna now kick my leg to the mat, I'm gonna take my butt off the mat, hips off the mat, and I'm gonna turn both legs this way here, boom, like this, okay? And I come on top, this way, okay? Let's give that a shot, 3, 2, 1. All right, so this is a good setup. Against somebody who's really tough, and when it's slippery, right? That grip that you're making, you're not always going to get it. They know what you're trying to do, right? So they're going to violently rip their arm out. So you're not always going to get the sweep, right? Like we don't always get anything we try to do, right? But it's a fantastic setup to get the underhook. Okay, so I'm going to show that next. So just to recap, right? So we're here, okay? I'm in my knee, I start out my knee shield or not, whatever, but I'm going to start out here, right, because I have nice frames and it's a good position. We all know knee shield's a good position for guard, right? In this case, I'm going to grab that one wrist grip here, right? I'm going to plant my foot on the mat. My knees are kind of squeezing together, right? My butt comes off the mat, and I get this tilt, right? So Brian, I did this to Brian twice already, right? So he knows what's coming. So he's going to rip his hand on the mat like this, right? So again. So here, and or if I don't even have the grip to start, I can do this without the grip, right? So I'm here like this, right? Maybe I have my frames is all, right? And I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna drop this, and I'm gonna come here like this, boom. Now, he's not gonna stay right here. His next thing is always gonna come back to face me, like this, boom, right? So it's gonna be like here, like, boom, he's gonna come back, right? Here, he's gonna come back, right? Here, he's gonna come back, right? And I come here. And now, I start to come here, right? So again, I'm here. Whether I have the grip or not, doesn't matter, right? The legs are the same. So I'm coming here, and I'm here. Boom, he comes back, boom. Right? I use his motion of coming back into me to get that underhook that I maybe couldn't have gotten before, right? This same concept works if Brian is chest to chest on me, okay? This one's you'll surprise a lot of people with this one here. His knee's on the mat here, and he's got an underhook, or he's got this here, right? Now, I can use my hand to clamp a little bit, but even if I don't, same concept with my legs here, right? I'm going to plant on the outside, my feet come together, right? My butt comes off the mat, and I go here. If he doesn't post his hand, he's going to fall over. So he's going to post his hand, right? So again, watch. I want this underhook here. I go boom, boom. Right? Now I come back up. Okay? One more time. I'm here. Okay? Boom. Okay? I'm here.
okay? I'm immediately getting on my side when I get the underhook, okay? We're gonna go into that next, but let's just break off for a little bit and just mess around with that. So, right, this, my shin wants to be perpendicular with the mat, right, when I finish this move, right? So again, even though I'm just sitting like here like this, you can see how this works, right? I'm blocking on the outside of his shin here, or when or even his knee, right? So when my other foot comes in here, I'm like blocking here, right? So I'm stopping his knee from stepping out, right? So this needs to be blocked and my knees are squeezing up. Look, I'm on my side here, right? Just again, even when I'm totally awake, you can see how this works, right? But it's gonna finish with my knee pointing up, facing up, right? So on here, right, see that? This is getting under his base here, while this is stopping his post from going out, right? So I've seen some people like, when we're in this position here, right? It's the same thing, right? If I just move him to my left, his right, and if I don't block his knee, he's just gonna keep on walking and follow me, right? I gotta block the knee, right? So both feet are doing it. So when I'm here, right, both of my feet are gonna plant next to his knee, right? Now my hips come off the mat and I tilt to the left. But see how I'm making his knee come under, right? Because so if I didn't do that, he could base with his leg and he wouldn't have to respect it with his upper body. But because I'm blocking that, his only post is the upper body. And that's when he comes back to center, I follow that momentum here, right? Okay, it's the same from whether there's space or not space. Move works the same way, right? You know, hopefully you're doing it from here more often because it means you're not getting smashed in the half guard, right?
Hey, Eric, can you face the other way a couple times with the half?
Okay, so just the last time for recap, right? When you finish this move, your shin is going to be perpendicular with the mat, right? Your knee is going to be pointing up. So here, again, there's 10 million different ways and combinations I can grab his wrist here, right? But the leg thing doesn't really change. And some of you are not letting go of the knee shield, right? But you have to for this move, right? And this is a split-second move, right? I'm not sitting here forever, right? But I have to let go of the knee shield. I have to make the decision that, hey, I'm going to do this and go for it, right? So I'm dropping here. Now that allows me to, again, squeeze on the other side of his leg here, pinch my knees together, and turn this hip to the mat, like here, right? If I keep the knee shield in, I'm not making him respect that with his post, right? I can't move this enough, and my knees are gonna get smashed here as well, right? So I'm coming out here, right? Planting. Look, my leg is up, making the post, right? Okay, so we got that, right? So this is a great way to set up the underhook attack, which is been one of my favorite attacks as a training jiu-jitsu. So we're here, right? I have my knee shield position, right? I'm making frames in here, and for today we're gonna go obviously through what we just did as a setup to get the underhook, right? There's other ways to get it. This is a great one. That again, no matter how good the person is, if you do this technique right, they have no choice but to respect it, and they're gonna post their hand on the mat. I don't care if he's a world champion, he has to post, or else he's gonna fall over. So you're gonna get some people that are pretty tough if you can set this up right. So anyways, I'm here like this, right? Maybe I grab this, maybe I don't. Okay, I'm here, boom, he pulls his hand out, I come back, boom, okay? I'm using the space that he's coming back into to enter into, so there's no space, right? That's the tough part of the underhook, is that like, if we're kind of not going at the same speeds here, like so if I want to come grab this and then he comes smashes down on me or whatever, right? It's tough. So I'm actually, when I make him go to his right, boom, now he's gonna come to his left, I come here in that space. So there's like, he's coming into the underhook, he doesn't even realize it yet. He's just trying to come back to center, right? And I end up here. So this is the next position we're gonna work from, okay? So there's 1,000 different attacks from here. I'm gonna show 2 really basic ones that I like, or one, depending on time, we're probably getting close. So from this position, one of the most important things here is my posture, right? So I have a very long neck. My nickname is actually Neck. And so coming up, I got guillotined a lot, right? Because I actually have, being long and tall, you have a lot of advantages with that. There are some disadvantages. Getting guillotined a lot is one of them. So I've learned from here how to keep my posture proper to minimize getting guillotined, right? And it all comes down to posture, really, right? So if I'm lazy and I give space here, it's pretty easy for him to come here, guillotine or a Darce choke even, right? But the defense initially, early on at least, is the same, and it's to keep posture and to minimize the space, right? So here you can see how there's a lot of space between my forehead and his chest, right? I want to be in here like this, right? I don't want to give him that space, okay? I want to be in here, and my back is straight and curled back, good posture, like you would do any other athletic endeavor. okay? Now from here, my next move is the leg. So I want to take my outside leg and scoop it over his ankle here. And the reason for that is because it gives me a lot more mobility, right? So right now, I am controlling his leg with my bottom leg. If I remove the bottom leg to come up, I have no more control at all, right? So I'm making a switch off, right? I want to free this leg up to come to my knee. So I'm going to come around the outside with this leg. So first I'm going to have this here, right? I'm going to scoop around the outside. Now I can remove this one, okay? And now whether I come to my knee or not, it still enables me to put a lot of torque on this knee. So what I'm going to do next is basically put Kimura style pressure on his knee. And I'm going to do that by scraping this out and bringing my hip in, right? Like this here, right? So you see how it starts to put that Kimura type pressure on the knee? And this will make the guy give you certain reactions that he otherwise wouldn't give you, right? So now from here, I have the options of either coming to a knee, right? And going for all sorts of different stuff that I could possibly do from here, right? Or I can kind of drop back down for the sweeps that I'm going to do today, where I'm kind of coming under his base and coming out under the other side, right? So in this case here, right? So I'm going to pass this off. I'm scraping this back towards his foot. So it's kind of my foot on his. I bring my hips in. I squeeze my elbow in, right? So I'm taking all this space you see right here. I cannot have this. So I'm gonna bring my upper body in, lower body in right now. So you'll see this space is gonna completely go away as I bring my hip in and close my elbow to my ribs, okay? So I'm gonna come here like this and here. So see that space? There's no space here anymore, okay? So I'm gonna do 3-6 changes, right? So there's no space here. I went from here, hip comes in, right? So see, watch. This is torquing on the back of his, on his ankle here. As my hips come in, there's that Kimura pressure. At the same time, so I don't want him to take his arm out, I'm gonna close in on this here, boom, right this, right? So my hand grabs his rib, my elbow closes to my ribs here, and my knee comes in towards, okay? Now from here, all those things now are kind of occupied. My right foot is what's free, and that's what I'm gonna use to move myself. So I'm gonna move my body weight underneath him to the other side of him, rather than me trying to pull it this way. I'm gonna move under him, okay, and undercut his base. So with this right hand that I'm kind of laying on top of, I'm gonna come and grab this hook here. And same thing here, my elbow to my rib, boom. So both elbows to my ribs here like this, right? Now my feet, I'm gonna walk like a Homer Simpson style. Right? I went under him. I didn't pull him over me. Okay, now from here, there's various ways to kind of get back on top, right? One way that kind of this position kind of naturally works with, right? Because I can just kind of let go and come here, but I don't have his head. So yeah, he can start to maybe frame, like he may pull that out and start framing my face here like this, like, hold on a second. Just like start, yeah, like something like this, right? So I have an underhook though, if I hop to the other side. So we won't spend too much time on this because just not enough time. But if I'm here like this, right? One thing I like to do from here, I'm gonna hop up here and I'm gonna shoot my leg through this way. And now I have the chiropractic position, right? Whereas here, through the mouth, okay? So now again, the reason I'm doing that again is now I have an underhook here, where it's like an asset, whereas here, it's almost like a liability, you know? So, anyways, one more time, because there's a lot of details in here. So, from the beginning, I'm in here, boom, boom, boom. And here, I swim this in, right? I have trouble, use this foot to help push it out. Boom, I'm here, right? This is where I pull it all in. I grab his far rib, right? My head, I have good posture, okay? Elbow comes to my rib, I dive underneath, I pull this back, right? Torque here, have to have the torque here. Pull this in, elbow to rib here, toes in the mat, boom, 2, 3, 4, boom. Undercut his weight, undercut his balance here, this is the center of gravity, here, boom, boom, flatten myself out, cross face, wait for a couple cracks, go, get your copay, and then this is now. That's the first attack, right? Just like I don't expect to always get the super beginning, right? That maybe the guy pulls his hand out and we still have something else that was up there. I don't always expect to get his hand, right? What is the guy going to do as a reaction to this? And what might that open up for us, right? The answer is that lot of times you get a back table up here, okay? The guy pulls his hand, right? So first thing is, when I'm in here, right, I'm in this position. One of the things I had said was I want to take this here and I want to pull my elbow to my ribs, so I take my space away, right? So now, you know, again, this isn't going to be perfect, but when I come to bring him to my left and he wants to take his whizzer out now, it's going to be harder for him. And the time that I do that, I can get his feet. But look, Brian has got his whizzer out, right? So now he has no whizzer, so I have a calf in the back that can set it up right? So from here, when I start back from the beginning, right, and I pull this in, and I'm here, I come under the leg, I start scooping out, I go boom, well, right, you're gonna try. So from here, right, I come in, he posts his hand, boom, like this, right? Now from here, all I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take my hand and post it on his lat here, like this, put my head up, put my ear to his back, like this, right? And I'm gonna grab his hip here, and get my arm out. Now look, if I have my head here, when I did this, he can put the whizzer right back in, right? Or even if I come back up. So when I come here like this, right? If I get my right ear on his back, try to whizzer me now. Yeah, it's hard to do it. It's hard to do it. If I'm here, when whizzer me, you can get it, right? So it's very important that I actually put my ear on his back like this. All right, my near side ear, my right ear in this case. And I grab the back, okay? Here. Grab the whizzer. It's tough. You can get my lat a little bit, but I'm not giving him a lot of real estate here. Now I come back up here, and you know, there's 10,000 things you can do from here, right? So one more time. We're in here, okay? I dive underneath, I go bring it hard, he posts out, right? My left hand, that was the underhook arm, is gonna just come out under his armpit here like this. I'm gonna just push myself here. I'm gonna sit up, put my ear on his back, okay? And I'm gonna grab his back, like this here. Now look, now my right hand is out here, okay? Again, if Brian gets a whizzer in here, it's just hard, okay? Here, okay? And from there, again, just
Divisions a lot, so guys are huge, and I like to crush them with pressure, and we like to wrestle. I do. So I'm gonna do a few techniques off the front headlock position, which we're gonna do it from attacking the turtle, but you can do it from stand up too. It doesn't matter. It's easy.
Try to watch your space here today, everybody. I love it, Chris.
I have no idea. So off the sprawl, whatever, we're attacking, we have the front headlock. Usually when you have the arm that's going around the head grabs the tricep right here. This person here usually thinks they're okay, nothing to worry about. You're gonna tuck your head on the side, outside leg's gonna straighten out, and I'm gonna shoot my free arm all underneath his belly, grab his opposite tricep. Use that momentum, come all the way up on top. Left knee, because I rolled to this side, is going right in his gut. Left hand, post is flat behind his back, form your wedges. He's not going anywhere. This is a submission I actually stumbled upon years ago. I've been doing it ever since, pulled it off in competition, and I'm confident enough to show you guys. I haven't seen it anywhere else. I'm still holding his tricep. Chest pressure down, post on your leg. Now I'm going to turn my right elbow towards the ceiling. You're tapping already. Right here, pressure down, right elbow this way. This is the grip we have. Just like that. Let's do it again. Let's do it again. Pressure down, elbow. Easy peasy. Sweaty, doesn't matter. If you got good pressure, good grips, you have it. If you lose it, most of you know an anaconda. Darce, shoot to your Darce setup, your anaconda setup. But this is the first one in order. Form your wedges. He's not going anywhere now. His hips are nullified. Knee is in his gut, hands flat, wedge behind his back, chest pressure down, everything's super tight. Turn. Turn just a little bit. Don't lift, you lose your position. Nail him to the mat. Sorry, buddy. Cool?
You ever
Roll.
To be continued.
Come up, you got grip, cross face, get like a modified Von Flume. That doesn't work. Pull the head up, you have the space in the armpit. You got your darts choke. That doesn't work. Darts is in. Pull up on the head, feed the anaconda, sprawl out. That doesn't work. Hold the tricep. Grab the leg. Hook the leg. Oh shit, sorry buddy. Hook the leg. The cradle. Now we're gonna finish our jump from there.
I think we might be best friends after this. Everything that you're showing.
Release the leg, pound the palm, pull the head to your chest. All you're doing is pulling your thumbs to your chest.
That's so nice.
And if he's a big non-flexible SOB, his lung, every breath shorter and shorter and shorter, they usually tap to being crunched and smothered. One more time, super slow. Roll underneath. Knee in the gut. You don't have to hold the tricep, it's just security. Close it behind. Move your hips around. You get out. Nice and tight. Control. Darce, up. You have the space. Space. Hold the tricep again. Drop the leg down. Roll to your cradle. Hand to hand, palm to palm. Now pull your, like just a palm to grip. Pull your palms towards your chest. So this is what it's like right here, when he's all crunched up. Pull, super simple. I walk around and help you, but it's easy peasy. Right? 1, 2, 3. Let's do it in school. Different point of view. I'm not super flexible, so I have to do stuff like this. But like what Eric had previously shown, our half guard sweeps and setup and disrupting the balance, dude, everything feeds one chains into the next, which is awesome about what we do with all the grappling arts. Like, it's super cool. So you sweep somebody and they post and you can hit that duck out, like take the back, you can set everything up right from there. You don't have to traditionally go and get your hooks in and take the back and all that. Start, smoke their boots. Most people don't even know what this is until it's already over and they're watching like their girlfriend like recording it. And that's like, I don't know. What happened? I don't know. Here's the phone. But I just want to say thank you guys so much. Keep it super simple. Simple stuff is what wins.
Class, that this is the way I like to roll. Okay, think of your roll like a story. Once upon a time, I got on top. The end. That's the end. End of my story. Okay? So when I'm playing and I'm in that top position, to be honest with you, I don't care where I am as long as I'm not in your guard. And I'll be anywhere else. Half guard, okay? Who here likes to play half guard? Okay? I'm okay with half guard. I like half mount. Okay? Half guard implies you're on your bottom. Okay? I'm on top. I don't refer to it as half guard. I refer to it as half mount. My job is different than yours. Okay? Who thinks it's your responsibility to pass the half guard? Good. Okay? Attack from the half guard. Okay? I'm in half mount. My jobs and my responsibilities are very different than his. Okay? He's looking for sweeps, and if all I'm thinking is that my job is to pass his half guard, you're only giving yourself a fraction of what the position actually is capable of. Okay? Crossbody attacks, your kimuras, okay, things of that nature, I'm in position. Okay? The best he's got, okay, to be honest with you, the best he has is to off-balance me, to do a leg entanglement, to attempt to sweep me, or if I'm lazy, grab a kimura on this far side arm. These are the realities. Okay? Now, granted, you can throw some asymmetrical stuff out there, and it does exist. But that, realistically speaking, that's predominantly what he's playing for. So one of the first things is through here. That knee cannot present itself. This knee has to be killed. So to go into what Tori was doing earlier, the dive pass variation, this is one of the things I love from this position, to attack the half guard. Okay? Again, I'm doing half mount, screw guard. Okay, so from here, if he puts his knee shield in, we know we can smash. We know he's going to open. But when he opens, my job now is to occupy this space. So as soon as he opens, my job now is just to occupy that space. This puts us into a variation of where Tori was just at. Okay, I'm killing this leg. No, a lot of people see this as the waterfall pass, you know, things of that nature from here, which is a very, very good position to get into. But what I'm looking at from here is that same thing that Tori was just doing, is I'm crowding this upper body. Okay, my goal is to attack the living crap out of him and make him want me to leave this position rather than me thinking I just have to pass.
How you feeling
So-
about this?
Now, for you MMA guys from here, his body is wide open. If you're professional, elbows to the body, as long as it's not 12-6. So again, from here now, as I begin to turn my hips back the opposite way, we're now in exactly what Tori was just hitting. So now from here, Gable grips. There is a strong way and a weak way. Okay? It's not just put your hands in position. One version of the grip will get you more power, one version of the grip will get you less. And it's almost universal across the board. This is the hand doing its job. When I put it around his neck, I want that thumb facing me. The other hand reinforces so that my crush is going here. Okay? When you go to the gym, tell me, when you're doing curls and you're going here, okay, is that your strongest? Or is this your strongest? Okay? I don't know about you guys. The traditional curls, palms facing me, coming up, even hammer curls going this way. But the moment I rotate completely over, I become super weak. So you have to look at the position and say, which hand is actually doing the job? In this case, it's the one that's around his neck. This is the one doing the squeeze. This is the one just getting me some extra tension. So when I'm here, okay, one, when you reach, never hand first, because here he'll just grab it, okay, and now I just screwed up. So when you're here and you're in your dive, my elbow does the work, okay, and my hand always stays in position. So from here, okay, this is the back of my hand on the ground. You just feel anything different? Do you feel anything different?
Yep.
Here, my wrist is not on the floor. If I'm here, okay, this is a different scenario. The moment I do this, palm to palm, my wrist just elevated about 2 inches. And now from here, I can continue to elevate. From here, I pinch my elbows together, okay, and then I imagine my sternum connecting to my hands. Okay, not head down. When I'm here, it's not pulling up. It's me taking my sternum, driving it towards my hands, and then rolling that wrist to make my connection. Okay? So one more time. I push in. Now right here, as soon as that knee opens up, my chest needs to occupy the inside so that I literally just transfer down and go into my dive pass variation. Okay, I could care less about my right leg. Okay, from here, actually my right leg is helping to hold him in place, and it's keeping him from getting into open scrambles. From here, we drive our caboose up. Okay, you guys didn't know that all those twerking videos you saw, that's Jiu Jitsu. So from here, I'm going to push my hips in, and as I do, as I rotate, my elbow is going deep around the neck. Then I lock my hands up. Again, you see the rotation? My goal is for my hands to stay on the ground, and I drive my sternum. Remember, pinch those elbows, and then drive your chest down. Chris will feel it just from here, okay? Hands in place, this is a high elbow. When my elbow collapses down, okay, it changes the pressure on the neck. Something as simple as just making that motion collapsing down on the shoulder. All right, any questions on that one? All right, let's go shot. 1, 2, 3. It's completely changed my mental outlook on the game. When I am in position, okay, when I'm here, when you ask people, where are we? What's the answer they're going to give you? Half guard. No, he's in half guard. I'm not. Okay? Half implies what? Okay? Supposedly it's a 50-50. I'll argue with you it's 60-40. And I'd love to have that debate. Okay? 60-40. I got 60, he's got 40. Because the ground is my other 10%. This is what makes the difference. Okay? I'm up on top. The only thing pinning me in place is what he can do. What's pinning him in place is the fact that he is sandwiched between me and the floor. But we are supposedly 50-50. But yet, most people that I know, the moment they get in that top position, they play as if, what do we do to guard? We pass it. Okay? Not half guard. The goal is, if I need to pass it, but I want my attack to start to become a little bit more of my foundation. Because if I'm just passing his guard, I have conceded to him the extra bit that I got. Okay? Because I'm not playing it like I control the top, I control the pressure, I'm the one that controls the wedges and the hips and everything else. Especially once we make a chest-to-chest connection. Okay? So, you see where Chris is at right now. Okay? This is the shoulder he wants up in the air. That's the one he wants on the floor. Okay? So, freedom side, this is the freedom side. He wants underhooks on this side and everything else. So, I like to go into one. I play top mount or half mount. And then my goal is to make him play heavy on that shoulder. I call that the heavy half. Okay? We're in half guard. This should not be the heavy half. If he's being heavy on this shoulder, that means he's winning. I want to play heavy on this side. Okay? So if I'm able to make that chest-to-chest connection and I can break him down, we know we want the underhook on this side. Okay? We know that's fantastic. Okay? But that's also the underhook that he wants. So what I tend to do from here is I sink my hips and I deliberately make him play a little bit further than he would have liked. From here, my hips are literally natural. Okay? I'm not posturing myself up, and I have no desire to come back to center. Okay? This is where I like to live. So from here, go for your underhook. Okay? Have it. Go for it. My goal is to pin this leg and his head. Okay? I told my students if they call it cashew guard, I'm going to kill them. Okay? But my goal is to crunch him on this side. Okay, right now, if I can crunch him on this side, how difficult is it for something to roll over that's horseshoe shaped? Okay, the more straight line we become, the easier we roll, the more horseshoe shaped we are, the harder it is. So now that we're here, and I've pinched him over, okay, we're in here, again, I sink, I slide, trap his head, okay, and now from here, I'm not really worried about what he does with his underhook. Because if he goes into his underhook, okay, and then from here, he starts trying to manipulate me back to the other side, I switch back out, and I go into my reverse Kessa position that we're in half guard. Okay? From here, if he wants to get any major pressure, he has to start to manipulate his legs to change how he's going to play. Okay? So when I have him into what I call heavy half, my next piece I like because he wants the underhook. Okay? Just to play. As a white belt, I've known as happy birthday. It took me 20 some odd years to realize catch wrestlers call it stockade position. Okay? But I know as happy birthday. It makes me very happy. Okay? So this goes into what Tori was working on a little bit earlier. Okay, with that whole dive pass, I break him down. I know as long as this shoulder is high, he has a better position than he would like, and it's better than I would like. So I dip in, I literally low ride to make him go into this whole like little horseshoe position. Then I start to manipulate, and I dive my hand inside. Now this is where now my left hip goes in. Hey, you're a special human being if you can keep your legs together. And my pass is complete, and I have him into the happy birthday and or stockade position. Okay, from here you can go through his pockets if you want. Figure out what he's got. Okay, from here we can neck crank. Okay, depends on what rules are legal. Hate to say it. Heel hooks in today's standard are PG-13. Neck cranks are still rated R. Okay. Okay. Heel hooks have become very common in today's grappling. Neck cranks and those neck crank positions are still slightly taboo, and I think rightfully so. Okay? You pop my ankle, you pop my knee, whatever, I walk, I hobble, you break my neck, I may not walk again. There's a difference to the levels of severity that are played. Okay? This is just a simple compression going into it. I'm not making him do the exorcist. I'm not twisting that, well, I'm twisting his spine like a twister, which is the reason why he will let go of his legs. Like I said, you're a special human being. Okay, now I can also hit the same position. If I'm here, I take my hand, okay, I go a reinforcing thumb, I shove it up, lock my hands together, and I will pry bar him. Okay? Then I can feed. Now when I separate, his shoulder goes backwards. And now from here, when I reverse my hips, just like the dive pass, my left hip goes down and heavy. I'm holding onto this leg. This is a twister. Now when I windshield wipe, in his hips, and like I said, look around for who else wants some. All right, grab the partners. 1, 2, 3. All right, so staying in that realm of it being my birthday, I like it being my birthday every day if possible. Okay, in the old days, again, this is a white belt technique that's been with me throughout my entire game. And it's kind of funny that some people use positions of this nature, but it's amazing how information gets lost over time. Okay, but the game is cyclical in nature. Okay, I have a couple posts out there that everything that's new school was once old school. And when enough time passes, new school will become old school. And when enough time passes to go beyond that, old school is once again new school, and it's just cyclical. It just goes right in circles. You know, everybody thought things like single leg X and all this stuff, modern inventions until black and white footage came out of old school video, people throwing heel hooks back from the 1920s and things of that nature. Again, we take knowledge, we discover it, we evolve it, and then it starts to evolve so far from its original form that sometimes we forget the original form. And then we rediscover it as we go back. And that's the way this game just goes, over and over and over. And then I personally believe in the game, it is about discovery. I don't believe anybody invents movements, okay? Because every time you're like, I invented this, then you find out that so did 100 other people scattered all over the place, okay? I believe we discover the movements. I believe that, again, it's knowledge that's been there. I've had people that I've taught for years and years and years and years and years that suddenly come in and are like, oh my God, I just watched this video with name off the next big name, okay? And I'm like, weren't you at class 2 weeks ago? Yeah, we did exactly that same move just 2 weeks ago, or name it, okay? So this shoulder position for me, you know, originally started off in side control, and for me it's evolved into my half guard, and now it's even evolved into my, what people refer to as quarter guard, and that's his job, that's not mine. If I'm on top, don't you dare tell me I have quarter guard. I'm 3/4 mount, or as I like to refer it, I'm half to your back, okay? If I'm in position, and we're here, okay, and we're here, don't you dare tell me I'm in quarter guard. He has my ankle stuck. Are you kidding me that he's in the one in control? Don't insult me, okay? He has my ankle. I should be so scared, okay? So the position I'm in right now is where I like to play. Okay, again, this is part of my evolution of heavy mount. I'm literally sitting on top of this base thigh. Okay, my Berimbolo people, you know this entry. All I gotta do is turn and roll, okay? But when I bolo, okay, it's a slightly different animal, okay? Not that I can't, okay? But, so from this position, when he gets quarter guard, Okay, what does quarter guard imply? 25%. What happened to the other 75? That belongs to me, not him. That's mine. Okay? Or in this instance, I look at this one as one hook. Okay? I have half of your back. I'm already there. I just need to take my prize. Okay? It's like a box of Cracker Jacks. Probably not a reference good for you youngins. Okay? But that prize is in there. I just got to go get it. So again, stop fearing the fact that somebody puts you in quarter guard. He still has a lot of work to do. He only has my ankle. Good job. Okay? I gave it to you. Okay? This is my favorite game right now. Go full mount. 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 Oh, let go. There you go. Okay, so I'm in mount. How many escape routes does he have? Okay? 180 degrees this way, and at least 90 degrees this way. That's a lot of range. That's a lot of opportunity. If he's bucking like crazy, boom, boom, he's throwing his hips all over the place. He's trying to get me out of position. I'm playing grapevines or whatever. Okay, maybe he's trying to shrimp, control his hips. I know he might start trying to go for a leg entanglement or something of that nature. But the moment I put my own ankle, go back. The moment I put my own ankle, almost like clockwork, he'll trap me. Now tell me the angle of his attack. Okay, I've just limited it predominantly to this side, 90+%. Predictability will be his downfall. Okay, so what's the next things that typically he's going to start doing from here? What's that?
Roll his back, place guard.
Okay, he's going to try to roll to his back to replace guard. How's he going to do that?
Roll his legs over the mat.
Okay.
Pushing him into his half guard.
Right, he's going to start pushing on his knee. Okay, but I'm putting all my weight on this knee. I can care less. I'm actually going to disrespect his quarter guard. Okay, because this is exactly what I want him to do. This is exactly where I want. I know exactly where his hands are, and I know what it is they're about to do. And he wants to go back this way, but this foot, there's little no weight over here. It's actually pinching onto his hip. So when he goes back to go this way, you push him. Go ahead. There you go. No, really, I tried. Not just a push. Move it around. Okay?
I'm sorry, Chris.
What happens for most people is we get in this position and we go, oh, he's touching my legs. And then we go, oh, crap. And now all of a sudden you just got sucked back in a half guard and things of that nature. This requires a little bit of a commitment. I know where I'm at and I know what I like. Notice, I did not put my knee in tight to his belly. I kind of kept it away a little bit. I'm inviting him to bring his hands into me. Okay? I'm literally going to disrespect him in this position. Okay? I'm sitting on this upper thigh. I don't know if he can tell you the pressure he's getting through here. This leg is not going to help him go that way. So from here, as he's pushing and he's fighting, he's pushing and fighting. If I have to, I'll play here. But look how far back I am. My knee is on the back side of his butt. So I'll play here. He's bringing those hands in. Pop that hand off. From here, I'm going to lean my chest in. And while I'm leaning, his hand is going to my hip. This is not an arm bar. This is a kimura. Okay? As soon as he goes to push, I'm back here. There's his arm. I drive my chest in and pull. Pull to my hip. Okay? We call this high elbow kimura. So as I'm here, this also feeds into my gift wraps. Okay? Who likes being gift wrapped? Okay? So again, he's pushing, he's pushing, he's pushing. This was all planned. He thinks he's doing what he wants. He's doing what I wanted. This is one of the reasons why it works. He's playing my game. Okay? I put the spider web out, okay, and he just went right into it. So as soon as I'm here, I play that arm. Push, push, push. Go after my leg. Go after my leg. Go after my leg. Go after my leg. I'll take the other one. Boom. Okay? I'm going to pull. I'm going to start to feed. He doesn't want that. This is why when I drive, oh yeah. Okay? Or he's going to give me his back. Okay? And then we just ride because he already gave me the first hook. The other half, like I said, who likes being gift wrapped? So when I'm feeding, what's this other hand going to do? Take that elbow, elevate it to the armpit. This is a half birthday because I only have one arm.
David, can you do it to the other side?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Let me finish though. I only have one arm. That's why this is a half birthday. Now, where do we go for the dive pass from here? Okay. I'm going to open my hips. My whole arm is over his shoulder. My hook to the back take is already in, and he's in another twister. From here, almost like clockwork, because he's not getting this arm back, he's going to start trying to post to free himself up. That's my one-on-one. Now, I don't know if you guys can see, my hand is already in, but we're not done. Because from here, I'm going to pull on that hip, arc, my body in play. Okay, now staple the shoulder.
Your beard still looks good.
And Chris just died.
All right, so let's turn it